Next guest went viral this week for trying to be a mother. This is an interview I tried to show you a couple of nights ago, but we ran out of time. Sharren Haskel is an Israeli politician, a National Unity Party member of the Israeli parliament. She brought her 11-month-old baby girl to work at the Knesset last Tuesday. But when she went to present a bill in the parliament, she was forbidden from speaking while holding her baby. She was told to get off the podium. According to the regulations, only members of the Knesset are allowed to stand at the podium, and a baby doesn't count as a member of parliament. It's a story that caused an uproar, and I spoke to her about it. I also asked her about Israel's counter-terror raids in the West Bank. Israel claims those who died were terrorist militant fighters, and there are now marches of protest and an angry uprising of Palestinians. Sharren Haskel, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you, Shari. It's my pleasure to be here.
So now you wouldn't normally bring your 11-month-old baby to the Knesset, although there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that. But why did you have to in this particular instance?
Well, actually, about 11 months ago, I gave birth to two gorgeous twins. And as a parliament member and a working mother, sometimes, you know, we're just pushing the limits, and sometimes it happens that our baby is sick. And during that time, I just tried to take some pressure off my mom, who's been helping me a lot because of the long hours of work. And so I left one of the babies, Raphael, with her, and I took Gabrielle with me to work. The times are running. I was meant to present my bill, and they put another bill beforehand, and she started becoming hungry, and she wouldn't sit in her pram. Started yelling, and she wouldn't be held by anyone. So I just took her with me, and thinking, okay, I'll just present it really, really quickly, and we'll be off having dinner and shower and bedtime. Unfortunately, it wasn't the case. It was a little bit uncomfortable, but I think I take it as an opportunity to change now the planetary rule for working mother. Like, for example, what's happening in Australia, the rules of the planetary in Australia.
We've just been looking at the images there of you getting up to speak at the podium with your baby Gabrielle in the carrier. But when you got up to speak about your legislation, what happened?
So unfortunately, that was the first time someone came up with a baby. It sort of caught me off guard. And the rules of the Knesset doesn't speak about what happens with a mother and a baby, because that have never happened before. So the chairman can sort of decide how to manage the planetary and what to decide to do. And unfortunately, he didn't allow me to present my bill. Yeah,
and it's not just unsupportive of women and mothers, but it's unkind to the baby as well. I mean, what did he want you to do? Leave your little baby screaming in the pram when she's not feeling well, when she's sick, rather than just have her in the sling and you can get on with your job. I have to ask you, what was the legislation that you were presenting? What was your bill?
So the bill that I was representing was about the local municipalities elections that we're facing right now. It was an important bill for me and for many local areas, small ones, like small towns who are having these elections. It was an important bill for me. And to be honest, as a woman in Israel, as a female who served in a combat position, also during my military service, I never let anything stop me as a woman. And I sort of take this opportunity as well to sort of break the way for many young women who wants to be representative, who will have children.
Sharren, I just want to ask you about something else. The Israeli Defense Force has carried out a counter-terrorism operation on the West Bank. What's this about, and who was the target?
We set an operation in a city called Jenin. It's up a little bit more northern of Israel, and it is a city that has become a shelter city for terrorists. For example, there's been more than 50 terrorists coming out of that city, murdering innocent civilians, women, and children. Mass shootouts at restaurants, in bars in Tel Aviv. Just a couple of months ago, an Italian tourist that was shot at the walkabout in Tel Aviv. And so while this city has become a shelter city for those terrorists, the Palestinian Authority is actually providing a fertile ground in that city for them to operate. Unfortunately, then we had to go into an operation to try and clear some of these nests of terror who are part of the Islamic Jihad and part of Hamas. I think now that we can probably say that it is behind us, and the army will withdraw back.
Sharren Haskel, thank you very much for your time this evening. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.